Okay, so for tonight, we're going to be talking specifically about the fashion and interior design project. And our goal tonight is we're going to do a project overview so y'all understand the different components that can go into the project. We'll talk a little bit about the contest opportunities and some of the project resources. And then we'll talk a little bit about the virtual learning series that we have going on. And then we'll have a Q&A. So if y'all have any follow-up questions or anything like that, once we get through everything, we can also discuss there. So with all of our 4-H projects, ultimately what we want y'all to do is learn life skills that are going to carry on throughout your career and throughout your future. So this is one of our 4-H life skills modules that sort of illustrates the different potential skills that y'all can learn from each of the projects, and y'all would learn them through the 4 components of the 4-H projects. Okay. So within our fashion and interior design project, our main objectives are really to learn about the design and construction concepts and processes so that y'all can be a smart consumer whenever you're purchasing clothing, whenever you're purchasing household items or making them, okay? Other objectives would be to explore different careers that are available in these different areas. Some aspects of it could be creating environmentally friendly projects and then learning about your personal style and care within the realm of fashion and interior design. So whenever we jump into a 4-H project, we really have 4 main components that are required of all of the projects, and this kind of reflects how your record books are broken down if y'all put together your 4-H record books, okay? So ideally, we want at least 6 learning experiences that are at least 30 minutes long. We want some kind of community service component or project, and then we want some kind of leadership component or project. And then we want you to be able to exhibit your project work, and that can happen in a couple of different forms. So breaking it down, whenever we're talking about learning experiences, we're talking about any opportunity that you have to learn about something having to do with this project. So that can take the form of educational tours, workshops or clinics, participating in virtual learning series, doing independent study. So if you're learning skills, I know particularly with fashion and interior design, I have a huge Pinterest project page where I've learned lots of different skills related to it. And I've got little mini projects that I've been moving through with it. It could be interviewing people about fabric selection or experts in the field. It could be researching a topic to give a speech on it, anything where you've watched videos or other presentations to move forward with the project. Okay. So some of the different topics that you could be learning about within the realm of fashion and interior design would be some of the basic sewing skills, sewing skills, sorry. It could be exploring the different traits and purposes of different types of textiles, so animal products, plant products, and synthetics. It could be learning to design and accessorize an outfit or a room for competitive evaluation. Could be learning about patterns and alterations, pattern matching, the concept of color schemes and balance, how different stitches affect the end product. It could be recycling and repurposing different textiles that y'all have learned about. In general, fabric science or fabric selection and how to incorporate those into different projects. Learning how to design and care for clothing, things like that. Okay. Additionally, there's an option to explore some careers in your learning experiences, and some of the careers available in this field would be anything from architects to art directors, artists, fashion designers, floral designers also fit in here, graphic design, industrial design, and even landscape architects. So basically any field where you can balance out being some kind of an artist with a design process, okay? So community service is really flexible. Community service can be any type of community service activity that's associated with your project, okay? So within the realm of fashion and interior design, typically we think of making and donating items, okay? So it could be finding a repurpose for outgrown clothing and donating those to some of the community-based organizations. I know locally we've got Christian's Closet, so that would count. It could be creating different things like bags, pouches, or covers that could be used on traditional walkers and then donating those to senior centers or rehab centers where they're relearning how to physically move around and things like that to make their lives a little bit easier. It could be, trying to think, back when I was in high school, we had a gown sharing program at our school where basically our old prom dresses we could give to that program so that they could provide to other people the opportunity to use those and repurpose them. It could even be as simple as creating and designing a welcoming space for some kind of community project or community space. Okay. And then leadership can literally be anything where you are helping to lead or teach others about this project area or about an area that you're interested in this project. Okay. So it could simply be putting on a workshop for someone. It could be speaking at one of your club activities. It could be organizing a tour or a group activity, assisting an adult with one of their presentations. It could be serving as a junior or teen leader for this project in your club. And then with the fashion and interior design project, we actually do have a fashion and interior design ambassador group. And they typically take applications, I think every 2 years. So I think last year they submitted applications for the 2020 to 2022 year. So once 2022 rolls around, then they should open up a new application process. And these would be statewide ambassadors that are very similar to like the livestock ambassadors or the water ambassadors, where they would actually learn how to be experts within this project area and within this field. And then they would help provide leadership in it across the state of Texas. Okay. So whenever we get into exhibition of our project work, most of the time what we think about are contests. So there's a lot of different contests associated with this. And there are invitational, county, district, Texas 4-H Roundup. I think there's a couple of national related contests to this. So there's lots of different opportunities. We definitely have some opportunities at a couple of the livestock shows. You can provide educational presentations related to these topics. Speeches for public speaking. There's some fairs and exhibits and other things. You can also provide exhibition of your project work at project meeting, again, whenever you're providing your leadership by speaking about the project, okay? Okay, so speaking of contest opportunities, so we have 4 major contests that are associated with this particular project area. The first one that we think of is Duds to Dazzle. And so basically during this contest, you would work in a team of 3 to 5 people. And have y'all ever seen Chopped on Food Network? Kaylee or Abby, have y'all seen Chopped before? Okay, so kind of like Chopped, you'll basically be given an item and a supply closet to choose a few things from. You would have your normal sewing materials there in a provided supply bucket, okay? And you would basically have an hour to work with your team to figure out how to make whatever item that you're supplied. Sometimes it might be an old shirt, it might be a jacket, it might be a fabric that you've never seen before. I'm trying to think of some other examples of what they've given them. And then you would be given a category of items. So I think last year we had pet beds, wearables, accessories, and things like that, okay? So your job would be to work as a team to figure out what you want to design your item into within your project category. And then you would try and make that happen within your 60-minute time allotment. And then once you guys' time was up, then you would move as a team to give a short presentation and answer a few questions in front of some judges about it, okay? Usually this is a pretty fun contest. There's lots of fun things that y'all can get into in the supply closet and everything. I think Miss Susan, were Sarah and Brady on a Sedazzle team before?
They've done it a couple of years.
And what did they think about it? Did they have a lot of fun with it? Were there any memorable?
They did have a lot of fun with it. And actually, if you look at the girl that's wearing the white, and it has a little string attachment, one of our groups actually created a swim cover that looks something like that in one of the contests.
Oh, cool.
That was one of Sarah's groups.
So most of the time, I think the Sedazzle contest is a really fun one. It's a really cool opportunity to go through the creative process and kind of be challenged to try and create something new out of something that you're given. So, all right, another contest.
Common one is a.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the very common ones to get is a like extra large men's shirt.
Yes.
And what you can do with it, and it may be something to wear, or they may say make something that's a non-wearable, and the idea is just go all over the place. So it's really neat. I do like the upcycle recycle.
Yes. All right, so our next contest that we'll talk about, so we have a fashion show, and there's a couple of different ways that you can participate in fashion show. So fashion show, you can either purchase or you can make the clothing item. So typically they'll give you some categories to choose from. So it might be business professional attire, it might be formal attire, casual attire, or like a specialty category. Okay. Your job is to kind of keep track of your budget throughout your project. So if you had a certain budget to buy an outfit, if you had a certain budget to purchase supplies to make the outfit, you would put together the paperwork that tells about your outfit, and then you would give an interview while wearing your outfit in front of a panel of judges. And then at the end of judging, once everybody is done with their interviews, we actually have y'all model some of your outfits on the runway as we're announcing the results and everything too. There is a special category for natural fibers, such as cotton and wool mohair, and basically you give an additional interview about why you're interested in those fabric types, and then kind of demonstrate your knowledge based on that. And it's a really cool component to incorporate that. These outfits can get anywhere from high fashion to super casual everyday wear. I really enjoy this contest just because everybody has been super creative about what they've done, and this is where you kind of get to exhibit your personal style, okay, and then show off your personality associated with it. So it's a really neat little contest to do. Okay. Another option that you have is educational presentation. So educational presentation is basically a short speech or speaking type of thing that you would give with some kind of visual presentation aid. Okay, so that could be a PowerPoint to aid you. It could be like our photo over on the right-hand side. It could be kind of an interactive display that you're moving items around on. Okay. This one is pretty straightforward. It's a pretty easy one to get into. I know we've had a couple of people that have given it in the Open FCH category. I know Sarah, I think her topic was it the fashions of first ladies this year, where she talked about the different types of fabric that the first ladies would traditionally use for her or for their clothing. That was last year?
That was last year. This year,
oh my gosh.
Yes, this year was the combo with her and Brady, and it was a mix of clothing and textiles and consumer ed.
That's right. Okay, so there's lots of different opportunities to incorporate fashion and interior design into a speaking presentation. So, and it's a really easy way to get started if you're not wanting to get into purchasing outfits or things like that. Okay. And then this one is probably one of my favorites. So the Storyboard Contest. It's hard to explain it at first. So on the page, the 3 pictures that we've got down at the bottom are examples of different storyboards that have been made. Basically, a storyboard is kind of that traditional design display that artists would use whenever they are creating something. And it incorporates different components such as fabric examples, design inspiration, color inspiration, art inspiration, things like that. And then you would use those to create kind of a design drawing of what you're trying to create. So for some people, I've got tons of pictures where they've tried to design different like jewelry. They might do pet clothing. There's a lot of people that design wedding dresses, artwork. I mean, it's pretty limitless as far as designing goes, okay? This is a really easy contest to participate in because basically you'll put together your poster board with your design concepts on it, and then you'll send it off to be judged, okay? So you don't actually have to accompany it. You don't have to give an interview or anything like that. You're creating your masterpiece and then sending it off. Okay. And then there's a ton of different project resources. As far as 4-H goes, for our Texas 4-H, we have our project page that has a few different resources on it, and I'll actually show you what it is. Let me stop sharing this. So whenever you go to the Fashion Interior Design page, and usually what I do, y'all will get the link to this whenever I follow up with our email and everything. But usually I find it by Google searching Texas 4-H Fashion and Interior Design, and it's usually the first or second link on there, okay? Whenever you get here, they've got a few different options. So they've got some ideas for different things that you can learn. They have a few different resources. So Joanne Fabrics usually works with us on a few things, and they actually have a lot of 4-H themed fabrics. There's some different explore guides with some mini lessons in them that y'all can do. They've got a few different resources for clothing and designs. They do have a couple of different community service projects that you can click on and become a part of. And then they also have some of the state contest resources associated with it, okay? And then they've got resources based on whichever contest that you're doing. And information about the ambassador program is down at the bottom there. Okay. The Facebook page that Texas 4-H has some really cool examples of what people are doing across the state with their projects. I just found that one today, and I thought that was really interesting. Okay, the Kansas 4-H project page has some similar resources to the Texas 4-H page, and then the Canada 4-H program actually has a couple of discover crafts associated with this project that look kind of fun. There's obviously the 4-H Explore guides. Most people with this project tend to get a lot of inspiration off of Pinterest. And then there's a bunch of other related things. So there's a plants and textiles kind of page where you can learn about the different textiles to use to make projects. There's some sewing basics resources. So they've got a home sewing association that you can look into, the McCall's Pattern website. There's some different fabric resource areas where you can actually learn about like the different types. So wools, cottons, and things like that. Okay. And then what we've got going on, so we are getting ready to start our virtual fashion and interior design project series. So we are working on putting together supply kits. A couple of y'all heard some of that conversation earlier. But basically, we're going to put all of the supply kits together so that y'all will have the materials to do the activities with us as we're doing them over Zoom. So that way it'll be a little bit more interactive, and we're going to focus a little bit more on learning skills that are going to help y'all develop further in the project and focus a little bit less on the contest. If y'all would like support moving forward with participating in a contest, just reach out to us and let us know, and we're happy to walk y'all through how to get started with that if you need to put a team together and things like that. Our second lesson is going to be Fabric 101, where we're going to talk a little bit more in depth about how to choose fabrics, why we care about fabric selection, and things like that. Our lesson number 3 for fashion design, we're actually going to talk about how to make the storyboard, since the storyboard is an important concept whenever we're getting into fashion design in particular, and even interior design if we're making textile items. So we're actually going to walk through how to make those, why they're used, and things like that. And then we'll make a mini storyboard there to get y'all started with that one. And then we'll go a little bit more in depth into sewing supplies, hand sewing. And then our last lesson, we're actually going to collect feedback from y'all as people sign up, and we're going to have y'all decide what y'all would like the last lesson to be. If there's something that y'all would like to go a little bit more in depth on, if there's a really cool project that you've been eyeballing, we'll try and incorporate that as best we can and make it really hands-on for y'all. We have spread the series out, so it's going to be every other Thursday from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We'll send out the Zoom link kind of like we did tonight. We'll send it out to the group that's RSVP'd for the series about 24 to 48 hours ahead of time. And then just so we can get a head count for everybody who wants to participate, so we can start putting supplies together and get them sent out to y'all, or y'all can pick them up at the office. We'd like for y'all to RSVP at that link, the http:// etc., the bit.ly/fashion21. Okay. And then since we've only got a couple of y'all on there, do y'all have any questions or anything about the project? Is there anything else that y'all would like to cover with the project tonight? Okay, do the group members for Sedazzle have to be 4-H members? So yes. So for the team contest, all of the members of that team need to be active enrolled 4-H members. The good news is, though, you can join, or your friends can join 4-H at any time during the year. Okay, so the 4-H year is going to run from September 1st to August 31st. So if you think that you're interested in doing a Duds to Dazzle related project, then you could start recruiting those friends right now and help them get enrolled in 4-H and then prepare for the contest if that's what you're interested in. Does that help?
Mellanie.
Yes, ma'am.
On the contest stuff for Kaylee, you're intermediate. Let me see if she can type it in for me. I'm not sure she's intermediate or if she's high school. 7th grade. Okay. I had
7th, yeah.
Okay. You can have a junior on that team and an intermediate, but you cannot have senior level, which is freshman and up. So just for information, so gather those friends and get them to join to make a team, but keep that in mind that they cannot be high school.
Mm-hmm. So for most of our contests, we're going to divide into the different age groups. So the juniors, the 3rd through 5th graders, are going to compete with the juniors. Intermediates would be the 6th through 8th graders. And then the seniors would be the 9th through 12th graders. Most of the time at our county and district contests, we'll allow junior members, so 3rd through 5th grade, to be members on intermediate teams. So if a 6th through 8th grade team needs a couple of extra members and they've got some juniors that can move up, they can do that. The only thing that we don't do that on is for the senior teams. So if you're in 9th through 12th grade, then all of your team members would need to be in 9th through 12th grade, just because y'all have a chance to advance to state contests and on to nationals, okay? And then do y'all have any other questions? Is there anything that y'all are curious about or anything that y'all would be interested in working on in this project area? So the storyboard contest is typically one of our spring contests. So for our district contest this year, we will have them be due to the extension office probably sometime in March. So you would have from now until most likely mid-March to work on them. And then we would judge them at the county level. So just against all the Bastrop County 4-H members, against the Bastrop County 4-H members, and then we would take them to our district contest where they would be judged against the other 20 counties in our district. So the county contest will be probably mid-March, and then district contest will be in April. All of our state contests will typically take place over Roundup, and that's typically in June. I'm not sure what that'll look like this year exactly just yet. And then same thing, so Sedazzle will typically be in April or May with our district contests. Educational presentations for our district level will typically take place in December right now. So we actually just passed that one. And then, let me see, fashion show will typically take place with our spring roundup for district in April or May as well. Well, I'll hang out here for a few more minutes if y'all can think of anything. If y'all have any ideas for any of the activities that y'all would like to participate in, or y'all have any questions about the project, I'll be here, okay? Other than that, thank y'all for coming.